what was happening with foreclosures before the pandemic, and what are you seeing in terms of the data in terms of future foreclosure trends for Illinois?
What we have seen is through the period post-Great Recession, 2012 to 2017, the foreclosure inventory, that is the number of houses being sold minus the number of additions to the inventory, was in negative territory. In other words, we were reducing the size of the foreclosure inventory. But starting in early 2017, that curve started to rise again. And the only thing that I can point to is that Illinois is a legal state when it comes to foreclosure problems. And Xian Fang Bak, who was supported by Illinois Realtors, thank you very much, now working for Fannie Mae. In her analysis, she estimated that it takes somewhere between 6 and 7 years in Illinois from the time of a foreclosure notice being issued to the time that it becomes an REO, for example. And this process then in 2017 may be the end of the negative impacts of the foreclosure property, but finally those properties are getting adjudicated and a lot of them then are being added to the inventory. But in the last 3 years, that curve has risen again very steeply, and now we're getting significant positive additions to the foreclosure inventory every month. What I suspect is that we'll get some of the repeat, and part of that is to the issue of forbearance. Something like 4 million US mortgages have now requested forbearance. And the question is then, how long? And the longer that goes on, two likely outcomes. People are going to remain in the state because they have no fiscal capacity to move, or they will end up foreclosing and either moving into an apartment or moving to some other part of the country. And some research that colleagues at the Federal Reserve Bank of Chicago have undertaken have revealed that there are significant longer-term lingering effects of delayed payments on credit cards, affecting people's credit ratings, which then affects their capacity to obtain a mortgage or a loan at some point later in their life. It also depresses the spending on other goods and services because they have to allocate an increasing share of their weekly or monthly incomes to pay off the accumulated debt. So not just the monthly mortgage, but the fact that they've missed 2 or 3 other months. So I think this is likely to stave off in the short run a lot of foreclosure activity, but it may just be delaying an inevitable process that may see an increase in foreclosures in 6 months, 9 months, or a year. And I think this process with the foreclosure, as it takes so long in Illinois, we may be looking at this sort of problem in 2024, 25, and 26 as a legacy from this current recession. But foreclosures are obviously very painful to the individuals and so on and so forth. But we've had several months post-2012 where the reason our prices increased was because of increases in prices of foreclosed properties. Regular houses, the prices were not changed very much. So as we get to process these foreclosed properties and as they hopefully enter the market before they deteriorate, they can contribute significantly to the viability of that housing market. So it's not always entirely negative, but again, for the people involved in it, it's a very negative process.